got a text message yesterday from a friend of mine, and he sent me the Grant Napier article about how Grant Napier had resigned, he resigned as the voice of the Sacramento Kings. And he said to me, he said, you need to be careful in your business right now because there's a lot of people out there that are going to want to bait you. They're going to want to be able to easily label you something. I talked about this yesterday, and he said, you got to be careful with what you do. And I thought, it is a tough time to have an opinion, whoever you may be, because you can get labeled something real quickly. And I'll just start off today with my man, Drew Brees. Drew Brees has been at the top of my man crush rankings for a long time. And, the way things get molded now because of the exact moment where we are, this is where if I were Drew Brees' publicist, I would be saying to Drew, hey, look, no interviews right now. No interviews. In fact, the only thing you should be doing is saying good, positive things that say to America, say to New Orleans, hey, let's all learn to love. Let's all work together. I want you to be a ray of positivity. I don't want you talking about other stuff because right now you can get caught up into controversy. And Drew Brees did an interview with Yahoo. I hadn't seen it until it started to make its way virally. And in that interview, Alex, you can put it up on the screen, I'm sure, for everybody to read. Drew Brees says, because now the question is about Colin Kaepernick. And again, gosh, it's amazing how we have these conversations, but yet, Browner brings up right away, hey, these other cops are the charges are starting to change. The other cops they're getting these guys now. That's the story, people. Am I wrong? Is that
no? You're 100% correct. That's the story. That should be the headline. That should be the only story.
Yeah,
and it should be, but sometimes, go for it. I'll talk about it.
Well, then here's Drew Brees, right, who has an opinion, and his opinion, he tells you what it's based in. If you listen to the entire soundbite, you hear where he's coming from. And it's going to be real easy now as his African-American teammates will fire back on social media. This is the divide continues. I argued earlier this week that sports is what brings people together. Vic Fangio, the Broncos head coach, says there's no racism in the NFL. And now here we are, Drew Brees, one of the all-time great, not just players, but generally speaking, guys. I bet you all of his teammates probably love him. Probably none of them think he's a racist. But all of a sudden, now we got major differences of opinions. And that could impact locker rooms and teams. And it's pretty darn interesting, Dude,
it's and the way I took it is this, like, Drew Brees' heart was probably in the right place when he talks about what he thinks about when he sees the flag, when he talks about his grandparents and serving in the military and all that. But the thing is, it kind of goes back to the whole all lives matter thing. It's not really about you right now and what you think of the flag when you see the flag. It's like at this moment in time, we're putting ourselves in the situation of George Floyd, what the experiences that Black people go through in this country. And that's kind of what I took from it. It's like, people are going to be mad at you no matter what you say, really, because people will be mad about what I just said. It's just the way the world works. But I think we're trying to put ourselves in the shoes of the African-American community and their experiences that they handle. So when Drew Brees talks about what I see, it's like, dude, it's not about what you see. Put yourself in other people's shoes about what they see and what they experience. And I think that's why there's so much backlash right now. And when you bring up Colin Kaepernick and the flag, there's always going to be backlash no matter what you say. But I just think right now, everybody needs to take a step back. Just put yourself in the experiences of the people that have been murdered in this country. And that's what this is all about.
I want to take the time to say this about Drew Brees before I say what I have to say. Drew Brees is a great man. Drew Brees has done a lot for the New Orleans community. Drew Brees has done a lot for charities. Drew Brees has done a lot for families that he did not have to do. I think Drew Brees should not have answered this question. Here's why. This was going to end bad for Drew Brees, period.
Right, no matter what.
There was no answer
right.
he could have given that would not have been a headline. Mm-hmm. So somebody in his camp needs to be fired. Not because Drew Brees said the wrong thing. It's because Drew Brees was allowed to even be put in that situation by some company, by some sponsor because there's no real reason to be talking about football, period, right now, because there's no one's doing anything. Drew Brees is going to be in trouble now because of this. That same flag that Drew Brees honors, which he should, is the same flag that was used for the Tuskegee Airmen Project, to use black men in the armed services as an experiment for syphilis. That same flag that Drew Brees is saying that he won't allow somebody to disrespect was the same flag that Officer Chauvin was wearing when he snuffed George Floyd's life out. So that flag means different things to different people. That flag was the same flag when black men went to fight in the Vietnam War, were put in segregated. I understand what Drew Brees was trying to do. He shouldn't have answered that question because there was no right answer he could give. Drew Brees is a great person. He has been a stand-up character for the city of New Orleans. And I honestly hope people don't trash Drew Brees because of what he said. Because if you could have asked Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes or Russell Wilson that same question, half of the people would be pissed at them. There was no right answer to that question. It is a lose-lose scenario. And Drew Brees, I'm sorry, but people are going to come after you and you don't deserve it.